Today, after the pre-game meeting, Coach Craig Berube was asked who would start in goal. His answer was, it'll be a game time decision. That has everybody wondering who is going to start in goal. Oh, I wonder who's going to start in goal. Tell me, oh, who's going to start in goal? I've got to know the answer. Is it Bennington or who so? Oh, I wonder who's going to start in goal.
Hockey Fan Report. Aloha and mahalo. I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and this is the Hockey Fan Report. How are you all doing today out there? Oh my goodness. Did the news come in waves? You know, I said yesterday that the Blues were trying to ride out the storm. Well, now they're trying to ride out a typhoon. Wow, did we get some news today that shook us to the core? To the core. Oh no, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is 6 o'clock your time there, bud. Ryan, sorry about that. Hey, Chris, how you doing? E's here. Chris is here. Ryan Green. Oh, wait, wrong live stream. I'm in trouble now. Yep, off to a rough start. No, I mean, might have S. Well, Yo is off to a rough start. That's true. Philly, well, you know, that's just Philly's just, I don't know what happened there. That team should be a lot guessing. She's going to be here in a few minutes. She was running a few minutes behind. She'll be here. You know, till then you get to hear all the crappy jokes that I tell. Right? Did you like, maybe you saw that, in the thing I said, or in the announcement for the show, I said, COVID injuries and cap issues. Oh my, that's going to be tonight's theme. What's going on with the Blues? Actually, the NHL governors are meeting this week. And this is something that's going to come up, is the possibility of cap relief for COVID. Right? If there is cap relief for COVID, it will help the Blues. But the Blues right now, so what they're saying is Husso has a lower body injury and Wallman has an upper body injury and we'll know more tomorrow. Well, there's a game tomorrow. So they were able to call up Walker. Aussie. Oi. Aussie. Oi. Oh my goodness. Chris, you're going to get me in trouble with that one, my friend. You're going to get me in trouble. And we don't know what's up with Thomas either. We really don't know, Kyle. All I heard was he's day to day. So you look at this. You have Perron, who's day to day. You have Thomas, who's day to day. You have yeah, I don't have any genius, my friend. You have Wallman, who's a question mark. You have Husso, who's a question mark. So Lindgren, who last played for Montreal, gets the win yesterday. Charlie Lindgren gets the win yesterday. He's like 29 years old. And then today, they went and signed John Gilles. I think they brought him in on a PTO one time or something before. We had him because I remember looking him up before. So the Blues have had him on the roster before, but
Hey.
Gilles played in NHL for Calgary, and his record was horrible. Yeah, I got her. The new Hawaii genius. There ain't no genius here. Oh my goodness. I'm in awe and shock with what's going on. And right now, to be honest, the fact that we have so many players out, this should have been we should have tomorrow's game suspended.
Yeah.
Right? I really think that. I mean, you got Bozak, Bennington, and
Falk
out with COVID. Then you have injuries to Thomas, Iran, who are both considered day-to-day. Ballman, who's an upper body and we don't know anything, and
Husso,
who has a lower body and we don't know anything yet. I was looking at what Chris said. Surprised they didn't stop us yet. I'm not surprised, right? Because then if all of those were COVID related, yeah, we'd be stopped. But they're not COVID related, right? And that's the thing. They're injury related. Oh, Costin. You have Costin out too. So
Neil.
Huh?
And Neil.
Costin and Neil, right? I mean, Costin and Neil are both on LTIR, and I don't think they can come back until sometime mid next week.
Yeah.
Right? I think I was looking something on, like my fantasy league, I have Neil, and they said that he was available to come back on the 13th or 14th, I think. Mm-hmm. I'm looking to look it up here right now real quick. My fantasy league
and Marianne, it's not just injury, it's COVID too. Like, we can't pull up certain players that we might want to because our AHL team is also experiencing COVID.
Yeah. December 19th is the expected return. I actually thought it was sooner than that, but he's got to miss 10 games, and so does Costin. Right? And really, right now, Perron is close to that. Perron, his 10th, he would have to be out. If they put him on now, he would have to be out till the 20th. Right?
They said that he would end up missing 12 games even if they put him on now because he has to also be out the 21 days.
Oh, the 20. I thought it was on. Oh, 21
it's
days.
Both. It's
okay.
10 games, 21 days.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that doesn't bode well at all then.
Mm-mm.
Right.
I mean, they're gonna play it. I'm hoping that Lindgren can hold his own because he had a great record in the AHL. I think they said he was 8-1-1.
Yeah.
So he played very well.
There.
He played very well in the preseason. I really liked him in the preseason. I liked him better than Hofer. So my fingers are crossed that we don't have to pull him for any reason and that we don't have to try this. Oh gosh, I already forgot his name.
Gilles. John Gilles.
Gilles.
Well, we're gonna have to play him. Yeah, but back to back.
Unless we just trust Lindgren, because I don't know that I trust Gilles. I mean, he's only played 4 games, and he's apparently 3-1, but he doesn't have a good record like for his career.
No, he doesn't. Right? I just okay. So Marianne, if you're put on LTIR, you have to miss a minimum of 10 games and 21 days. I thought it was and/or.
No, it's both. You have to miss both.
Right? So I thought it was or, but I guess it's and. So with that being the case, that just shorthanded. We played well last night. The boys are stepping up. Well, we did play well, but how? So this is what concerns me. It's not what they did last night, and it's not what they can do in the next couple of games. It's what's going to happen in April. Mm-hmm. Right, and then going into the playoffs in May, and I got to tell you, a lot of people slept on Dallas. Dallas has the same record that the Avalanche have, and right now the Avalanche are destroying the Rangers 6-2.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even funny. And then, and it's not just, and you mentioned it, the big thing is the Springfield has a whole bunch of guys on COVID protocol. Right? So their games got games canceled to like the 7th. I think they can just now start playing.
Yeah.
Right? If we bring up anybody else from Springfield, we're bringing up guys that have no NHL experience. Right? We're bringing up guys that a coach is not going to play more than 3 or 4 minutes.
Yep. So does that really even help us?
Right? They're going to get a couple of shifts. Are they really going to? Hey, a guy that plays 4 minutes doesn't alleviate time from somebody else. A guy's got to take 10 minutes to take time away from somebody else. If that makes real sense.
It totally does.
And these guys that we could bring up now wouldn't. Well, you're right. You make a good point. You can't count on the boys to continue playing that way. But what you can say, are they going to make the NHL take the booster shot? You know what? I don't know. That they have the NHL governors meeting coming up. The one thing is that right now, most of these guys that are on COVID protocol, almost all of them have said, other than their energy level, they were only sick for a couple of days. Right? They recovered pretty quick, and it's just that because they had symptoms that they had to wait it out. Well, because you have the symptoms, you can't go to the gym, you can't do other things unless you have a home gym. I'm sure some of them do, but you can't really get that energy level back up. Right? You end up laying around the house all day. Trust me, I know. It's hard to get that energy level back up.
Oh, yeah.
Really hard. Well, that's another thing that they're going to talk about in the governor's meeting is the Olympics. Now, I'll tell you the one thing that I think is good about the Olympics is the break itself. Right? Right now, Robin Leitner has already opted out. Leonard, I can't say his name.
Think of Leonard, but Leonard.
Leonard, there we go. And maybe I'll say it wrong 10 times or 8 times out of 10. But he opted out of the Olympics. There's other guys that are going to opt out. I would guess that if you were on a team that was struggling, that was close to the playoffs, right? I would guess you might want to opt out. I mean, to be honest, that's the position we're going to be in, right? Because right now, Colorado's going to jump up into third. Yeah. Right? With 2 games in hand and 1 point behind St. Louis. Dallas, I don't think Dallas plays today, or do they?
I didn't check.
I'm trying to look real quick here. They might be playing today. Yeah, Dallas is playing Vegas tonight. So if both Dallas and Colorado win, they're basically in a tie for third because they've got the same record. I think Colorado's a little bit better regulation win or regulation overtime win than Dallas does, but they basically got the same record.
Man, I can't believe I'm saying it, but go Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, I said Vancouver. It's Vegas. It's Boston playing Vancouver. I just looked at it wrong, I guess. But, that's... It is what it is, right? They're playing... Drop the like. Well, thank you, AZ Sports Guy. Hey, how you doing, man? Oh, AZ, I gotta ask you a question. Maybe you can confirm or deny this. I seen something on a site that I don't think is very. I don't know if it's reputable or not, but that the Glendale County has issued a memorandum to the Phoenix or to the Arizona Coyotes that if they don't pay back taxes by the 21st, they're going to be locked out. Do you know if that's true or not, Bud? Let's see if he comes back with that. That was interesting. See if I can pull that up here real quick. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. This was on from a group, a page on Facebook called NHL News Updates, and this is the city of Glendale is threatening to lock the Coyotes out of Gila River Arena due to delinquent tax bill and unpaid arena charges. They owe like $250,000. I mean, they make that in a night.
Yeah.
Right? No, really, they make that in a night. Has until December 20th to pay up or appeal. Craig Moran Morgan confirmed it. Wow. Hey, AZ, you want to join us tonight and talk about this? If you do, let me know, and I'll send you a thing. 6'6" goalie, Gilles, anything like Bishop, speaking of Dallas. No. Gilles is nothing more than an AHL goalie, and he's barely that. Right? Link me up. Give me a second, Ashley, while I try and find AZ Sports Guy.
Absolutely.
Da 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 da. Okay, AZ, I sent you a link from my STLFanReport.com. Thank you so much.
I'm so excited. I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, it's been a while, and luckily he's one of those that hasn't abandoned me when other things went down. Yeah, but you think the arena, we all closed, but think about the arena, we're all closed. Yeah, I understand that. A lot of the arenas were closed last year, but you know what? The TV money came in, and things like that. Oh, here we go.
I got him.
Got him. There we go. She puts him in, and I take him out. AZ! How you doing, bud?
Am I allowed to curse on the show, or?
Absolutely. Just keep it PG rated.
Sorry, that's my only one. It's the only one I got.
Yeah. No. I mean, what? So, apparently, they owe $250,000 in arena fees and back taxes.
1.3 million total is the report. There's that overdue rent. It's very likely a lot of stuff they racked up from the previous ownership that. Well, considering the fact that there were multiple reports that Marullo, when he came in, refused to pay certain vendors because, well, he didn't sign those contracts, it always sounded to me like a really stupid game he was playing of, well, I'm going to take all the funds we have right now and allocate that towards the Tempe Arena and try to just walk out on the city of Glendale, which, first off, tax fraud, kind of based, but secondly, you're an NHL franchise, just pay it up and get the hell out of there, because I am so sick of all this. Like, look, yeah, it's a meme, sure, whatever. I can say anti-government, whatever, here or that, but when you're an NHL organization, you're bringing in money like any NHL organization does. You have to pay your bills. When you acquire a team, you acquire their debts as well. It's like when my wife and I got married, I had some debts. She now is partially responsible. She's acquired debts. I'm now partially responsible.
Yeah, I get it.
You gotta pay. I pay my monthly bills. I blow a lot of stupid money on jerseys, but I pay my bills. The Coyotes are no different, honestly. And it was always this really stupid game of chicken that they continuously played. And I'm like, but see, it's not going to work.
When did he buy the team?
I think it was the start of 2020 or late 2019. Here, I'll go ahead and fact check that real quick.
Okay, because that's what I'm thinking about. You look at this. He buys the team, and then this season, he gets told from Gilles that we don't want you here anymore, right?
So he finalized it, I think it said June 29th, 2019. But yeah, so the whole point of that, and a lot of people, this is not a shot at you. I'm just saying a lot of people in general don't pay attention or until that's my ex-husband. But it's That lost my train of thought. I apologize.
No, I was pretty good. Tanner gets one of these.
All right. I was talking about ownership. How he bought. Can you repeat what you were saying so I can try to get my thought
I said
process
that,
back on?
well, he came in. So this season, the Gilles Arena basically told him, we don't want you here anymore.
So the problem is, it's pretty much been since the city of Glendale signed that longer lease. Gary Bettman, the NHL, any Coyotes, the minority owners for the old terrible ownership groups, everyone knew it does not work in Glendale. The problem is it's in the West Valley. It takes way too many people too long to get out there. The West Valley as a whole is a bedroom community. All right, everyone, they live there, they go out east for everything. So everyone's rushing back west to go home. It doesn't work for 41 events a year. It doesn't. I don't care if this team, even when they went to the Western Conference Finals, the playoffs sold phenomenally, but you still saw Tuesday or Thursday night games that didn't sell as strongly unless like Canadian fans were coming in, or you have a lot of snowbirds here, but they usually are going to stay closer to the arena, or they're going to be there super early because they're snowbirds and they have nothing better to do with their time. But everyone knew they needed to get out of the West Valley. You have to go back east. Tempe is perfect because it's right around Scottsdale. Tempe, that's where the money is. That's where all the Coyotes fans are. You want them there. Everyone knew that, and everyone knows, even though you have to read between the lines here. Again, I'm not trying to talk down anyone. It's just I feel like no one focuses on this. It's the city of Glendale knew. Gary Bettman pretty much said it, unofficially. Hey, nice city you got here. We got to get this team out of here. That's an exact quote from the hockey guy. All right, everyone can see that. So the city of Glendale, they wanted the Coyotes to stay longer term. The Coyotes have zero interest with that. So of course they'd be like, well, we're just gonna cut our losses. Whether that was a negotiating tactic on their part, whether that's them being pissy with the Coyotes for not paying that back tax and the back rent. Whether it's all just they're tired of it, it doesn't really matter. They wanted the Coyotes there longer term. The Coyotes, no one in the Coyotes fan base except for some people like me before, because I still live in the West Valley, but I'd rather them go succeed in the East Valley. I'll put up with going to 2 or 3 games a year. I'd rather be at home not wearing pants watching it anyway. But they do not work this far out, so they need to get out of there. Everyone knew that. The city of Glendale also knew they have no interest there. It makes sense why they would say, fine, we'll cut it off then, because if too many people forget, the city of Glendale is the one who originally ended that 15-year lease that then led right around the bankruptcy, which started all this year-on-year or 2-3 year whatever stuff. That's how all that started. It's because it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, the thing that I saw, now I was just recently in the city of Glendale, and I stayed across the way in a hotel right across from the arenas, right?
Oh, you were in that, was it Hampton or Renaissance? You were in the Renaissance, right?
Yeah, Renaissance, one of them, right? But I was right
Nice
there,
hotel.
Marriott by Bonvoy, right? Mm-hmm. So I was right there, and Kemper got hurt. They just pulled
Again?
Kemper from the Avs, yeah.
Didn't he just come back?
Yeah, he did, and they're
just
now
came back,
bringing
like, 2
Johansson
games
in.
ago?
There was something that happened. I was in that entertainment district right there where the arena is. Mm-hmm. And this was COVID, and there was still a lot of people in there, even though, restaurants were closing early and that. It still seemed like there was a lot of people there. It just makes me wonder, is hockey a hard sell in Arizona?
As someone who, I was there for the bankruptcy. I was there for the reaction by the fan base. I was there for 2010 through 2012 when they were making the playoffs every year. It's not a hard sell. Arizona is a volatile market in the context of, if you do not give these people something to cheer for, they will not show up. And that's a mindset I wholeheartedly support. You guys know, you guys see my Twitter or whatever, I waste way too much money on hockey stuff, mainly Coyotes. I had no regrets there.
But we know you're a closet Blues fan.
I'm also insane, but look at it with the Suns. You still have their diehards, and there are so many diehard Suns fans. But when they were losing for 6, 7, 8, 9 years in a row, you see less and less people going because, I can go do this instead. It's like LA light in that regard, where you really have to give these people something to cheer for and to come support. And like I said, and I do support that because that makes these owners, the people that run the franchises, say we need to put a good product out there and respect our fan bases. But the downside is you saw it with the Suns for 10 years, slowing attendance. Seen with the Coyotes because this is what their third consecutive rebuild or second at least consecutive rebuild. The casual fan is like, why would I go drive across town and waste money on this ticket when they're going to lose? They did the rebrand and then they sold off all their valuable assets. They don't have a good team anymore. And whatever players could have been good, we're seeing that whole misfit mentality that happened with Vegas in 17-18, unfortunately, didn't happen here.
Yeah.
Just didn't. And it's like, that's why it's such a hard sell. Not hockey itself. It's a lot of location plus terrible franchise, like management, bad on ice product. If this team was, let's say, at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, it's like 13-5, and they were in a playoff spot, but a wild card spot, attendance would probably be stronger than it is for a basement dweller in the West Valley. It's just,
well, the thing is, here's the problem. The arena that you're talking about, 13-5, a standard NHL arena is 17-19, right? At 13-5, are you able to pay the bills? And I'm not just talking the other. I'm talking your salary, right?
Well,
I mean,
what would likely happen is, I don't know if you remember when the Chicago Bears renovated Lambeau Field and took seats out. Because there's less seats, the prices would likely go up. But if they had a product to match the price, then it would work. The problem is they don't even have a product to match the prices right now. And I've only gone to one game this year because we caught them on sale for like $15 a ticket. That was after fees and everything. I don't care if I'm in the nosebleeds. I'll go if it's a cheap ticket. But there was almost no one but Edmonton fans for that game. It was a dead night on like a Tuesday or Thursday. It's because the product does not match anything. So the demand to go see the Coyotes right now simply wouldn't, like, there isn't a demand right there. There's the hardcore idiots like me that have no problem wasting money. And I know it sounds harsh, but that's what it essentially is. I just love this team. So I'm like, I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I just, first of all, the issue is there's a good chance that they're not going to be there next year.
Yeah, because of all this.
Maybe not next year, maybe the year after. They could end up in, and there's been a couple of places mentioned. The three big ones are Houston, Kansas City, and Quebec. Now, to be honest, I think with that market, they need to be there. I think that's a good market. The one thing Arizona to me, when I was in Phoenix, right? The Phoenix or Glendale or whatever you call it. To me, LA is LA. There's no Anaheim, there's no this or that. It's one thing, right? Well, I see that. The people that live there don't. And like you say, you have the people that are in Glendale and then you have people that are in Phoenix, and they see it as two separate areas, right? Well, why not call the Phoenix or Arizona Coyotes the Glendale Coyotes?
I think at one point after the bankruptcy, that was on the table for a very brief period of time, and they wanted nothing to do with that. I think there was the organization that wanted nothing to do with that, mainly because, all right, there's a Glendale. I didn't know this until my stuff when I was in high school got shipped to the wrong state before. There's a Glendale in California. There's a Glendale in Illinois. When you hear Glendale Coyotes, obviously NHL fans will likely know what you're referring to. People in this area will likely know what you're referring to. But someone who, let's say they're just getting into hockey, so let's say in Seattle, or especially, let's say someone just getting into hockey,
they won't know that it's an NHL team.
They wouldn't even know that it was in Arizona. It wouldn't be instantly identifiable. And the reason they even changed it from Phoenix to Arizona, even though I still think Phoenix Coyotes rolls off the tongue better, but I've gotten over that, is because they want the entire state to identify with this team, which I think is a decent idea, but
they did that with the Cardinals. They did that with the football Cardinals. Until the football Cardinals were winning, no one showed up anyways, right? I mean, no, you've got a fickle fan base, right? And that's not just, it's with the Diamondbacks, right? You have a fickle fan base with the Diamondbacks. You have a fickle fan base with the Suns. You have a fickle fan base with the Cardinals. So with that being said, it makes it, and the problem with a fickle fan base, and I think Blues fans might really understand this. When you have a fickle fan base, you can't spend to the limit. You have to spend to your fan base. It is very hard to build a winning team when you can't. And this is what happened to the Blues in the 2000s, right? They got owners, the Lowrys, who spent well beyond what the franchise could afford, right? I mean, this was before salary cap. They spent well beyond it. The salary cap comes in, and we're already right at the Blues were at the top. They had to sell everybody off in order to sell the team. That's where they traded Chris Pronger. They got rid of everybody. So the next season, after a 25-year playoff run, to make the team look more, affordable to a buyer, they sold everybody off instead of going, look, we just set the NHL record for a 26-year playoff run. Because at the time, it would have been a playoff record. Actually, I think it still is. No one's past 25. So that would have been the smarter thing. Well, what happens is they sell everybody off. The Blues don't make the playoffs regularly until 2010 and 11, I think. All right, you went through 5-6 years of just absolute horrendous teams, and then you went through teams that couldn't get out of the first round, right? So it took 10 years or longer to really build that up, and this is with a good fan base. This is with the Blues fan base. Even in 7 and 8, when I went to games, I went to a game when there was a snowstorm. In 2008, I went to the game. I had a front row seat. I don't remember what I paid. It was, again, 12 years ago. But I had a front row seat. I think it was $80. $80. I think that same seat's $400 now. Might have been a little more. Front row seat. And the arena was still 3/4 full. And, there was 7 inches of snow on the ground. Right? But the arena was still 3/4 full with all that snow on the ground. So it would have been full. And they were losing. They weren't a good team then. So there's different things that you can look at and say, but I think Arizona's problem, and you've mentioned it a couple times, is the branding. You can't keep changing the brand, right? They just brought back, what do they call it? The Chara or
the Kachita,
right?
Yeah, the Kachita.
I like that, but again, what you're doing, what gets fans ticked off is, I just bought this jersey with that logo last season. Now I got to go buy another jersey with a new logo. Or are you going to change it again? And it stops it stops sales. It really does. That's what a rebranding does. It can stop sales. The only time you're supposed to rebrand is when sales stagnate to bring new ones in. I have 20-something jerseys. I get that. And I know you're a jersey collector more than I'm a Blues collector. But the thing like that, there's just so much that goes into what makes a team successful. And Arizona just doesn't seem to me like they've done the right things. And it's going to take somebody with really, really deep pockets 5 or 6 more years in that area to make that team successful. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Austin Matthews, right? You guys need to, if I was, I would find some way to get Austin Matthews involved with Arizona hockey, right? That's huge. This is huge. This is a kid that the Coyotes developed, right? That's a kid that the Coyotes developed. He's one of the top 5 players in the NHL today, right? You get him back in there helping develop hockey in that area, right? Helping get into kids, because why St. Louis hockey right now is hot, right? And that's not just me saying it. I don't live in the area, right? You look at how many guys from St. Louis are in the NHL right now, from not for a southern city, right? We're one of the southernmost, when you look at it, from basically more of a southern city. I mean Midwest, but we're not we don't have snow and ice 6 months of the year, right? Like up in Minnesota, they've already got snow on the ground, right? In areas like that, Canada, it starts snowing there in October, right? We're not that type of city, but we have 15 guys in the NHL and growing every year. Guys from the St. Louis area, from the AAA Blues, from this area are getting drafted. Guys from a Division 1A, right? Our Division 1 hockey team, Lindenwood, scouts are going to Rick Zombo's games, right? So you need that presence, that NHL presence, to bring that up. And I don't see that there. Now, I know there are NHLers that live there, but you don't hear about them being part of the hockey culture there. Like Jeremy Roenick. I mean, I know he's nuclear a little bit, but at the same time, Jeremy Roenick can bring that experience to the coaching to those kids and bring that up. It's got a lot to do with it, I think. And Arizona has that problem. They don't have that base.
One thing that they're doing is especially with Austin Matthews, we know that Joshua Doan, there's another kid I think that played with Josh Doan that also got drafted this year. You're seeing also with the surprising success of the ASU hockey program. You also got U of A has a hockey team now, GCC for some God's forsaken reason, but let the Lopes have their team. Even with the success of the Roadrunners in Tucson, that market, even though, you can tell attendance in general is down. You saw it with the Sugar Skulls in the Indoor Football League. I know I'm going complete stupid Arizona sports nerd right now, but
that makes sense because it all connected.
Mm-hmm. And it all started with the Coyotes, and there were people like me and even like my brother-in-law that we were or both my brother-in-laws actually, the one that's married to my sister and then the brother of my wife, but we all loved hockey growing up, but we just kind of missed that boom. We are just over the last 4 or 5 years, you're starting to see a boom of these smaller, developmental, not like, is Pee Wee the right word for it? But these developmental leagues for kids coming up in Arizona. Yeah. And like my generation just barely missed that, like just barely. And because the Coyotes have been here so long, that finally got that foothold. The problem is you're starting to bear the fruit of that. Again, Austin Matthews, Josh Doan, et cetera, et cetera. You're just starting to see that. But the team, because of all of the terrible seasons, the bad decisions, the back-to-back rebuilds, going from the Phoenix Coyotes to the Arizona Coyotes, wait until sales stagnated, then bringing back the Kachina partially. Now it's their full logo because it's increased merchandise sales with non-Coyotes fans and markets of people that are never going to go to hockey games because they just want more merch with the Kachina to move. You're finally starting to see some of that extra stuff, which is great, surrounding a team that's had terrible ownership, terrible on ice decisions. It's the fruits being bore, but the earth around it is salted. It's kind of what it feels like, and it's so depressing because, man, like I always throw shade. I know you know that, and I always admit to it. I throw shade at a lot of Coyotes fans for how they will worship mediocrity, like OEL, past his elite years, Mike Smith, et cetera, et cetera. But man, is this fan base, I don't care how small it is, the core fan base, some of the most blissfully like optimistic people that support to the best of their abilities. And man, it just sucks that they couldn't make the decisions that, like, this is a football and basketball town. And even when the Suns were terrible, they still had that base that was hardcore enough to keep them afloat. The Rattlers, I don't even know if you know what indoor football is, tend to average at least 10,000 or so people a game because that hardcore fan base right there. it sucks to me that the Coyotes have always been so terribly ran.
Well, the
that they
Rattlers
can't
have
get
won
that.
like 5 or 6 or 7 championships,
They
right?
did a three-peat from 2012 to 2014. They won one, I think, 3 years after they were established. I could go on, but it's just
Yeah,
they made those
they've
good
been
decisions.
in the arena football team. They're the Dallas. They're the Dallas Cowboys or the New England Patriots. They're one of the
those
top teams.
Yeah, they're one
Yeah.
of those teams. You obviously had the Philadelphia Soul before the AFL ceased to exist. You have the Sioux Falls Storm in the IFL as well. I think they also merged over, if I'm not mistaken. That has also beaten the Rattlers in 2019. It still breaks my heart, but they're one of those top 3 or 4 teams all time, or at least if not all time of the last 20 years. The D-backs couldn't replicate 2001. The Suns keep themselves good enough to keep that fan base happy. And the Cardinals it's a football town. They're losing the home field advantage because people will come from other loyalties and still go watch football. They're still going to make their money. But the Coyotes, the D-backs, with no replicated success or established success or continued success, just simply can't. Even what the old Phoenix Roadrunners used to do, they played on the Madhouse in McDowell back in the late 60s. They had a foothold in this market, a minor league hockey team. And the fact that the Coyotes have never been able to do that. They had their 3 years. And then when they were first here for the first 5 or so years, that's really been it because of terrible management, terrible decision-making, and this stupid like game of chicken where they're not paying their bills. I'm like, I get it for a couple months to, hold your cards or whatever in negotiation. But at some point you just kind of got to shut up, pay the piper, and move on, because at this point everyone sees them as like, if you were to talk to 100 Arizona sports fans right now that were not necessarily hardcore Coyotes fans, they'd probably say, aren't they moving after this year? Or wait, they're still here. And that's, God, that hurts to say.
Yeah,
that hurts.
You know what? This is a lot of people don't remember. Gretzky coached the Arizona Coyotes for a while.
Yes,
Brett Hull actually retired with the Arizona Coyotes. Jeremy Roenick, I think, played for the Arizona Coyotes for a little bit.
He even came back.
Huh?
He even came back. He played when they were originally here. I think he got traded or he left it for agency. I don't remember. He came back for the 06-07 year, the year that got me into hockey. And my dad was a big fan of JR, so that kind of helped. But
and then he lives out there. Out there.
Keith Kachuk was really big there too when they first.
Yes.
Right, Keith Kachuk.
Every time St. Louis would come, people would still wear Kachuk jerseys because they loved Walt so much here, so much.
Well, he's just as beloved here, right? And Brady and Matt are even as beloved, right? And they neither one of them's put the blue note on, other than the junior blue note, right? So it's that same. Oh man, McKinnon got nailed. Oh, he got a shoulder to the head.
Ouch.
Oh no, yeah, he got nailed. Yeah, that was the Rangers were getting beat bad. Yeah, they took him out, concussion protocol. Watching this now, I didn't see the final of that game, but oh my
7-3.
Say again.
7-3.
7-3. Well, I mean, Rangers came back a little bit. That was a butt whipping, and then you got Dallas. Let's see what they're going to do with the Knights. Sounds like Gretzky needs to come back because Coyotes stink. Sorry. Well, no, it's not. You know what's going to change the Coyotes, and it's just it starts right. It starts at the top, and it starts at the bottom. It's a culture change, right? You need a culture change all the way through. Having these things in the news saying, "Oh, we're pulling your lease. You can't play here next year," hurts a team no matter what. Having ownership say, you know what, I didn't sign those contracts, so I don't have to honor them. All that hurts, right? And it's going to bleed into further. And the city of Glendale doing what they're doing now, I mean, I think it's going to hurt the city of Glendale more than it's going to hurt the Coyotes, right? Because the Coyotes are going to say, what are you going to do to us? You kicked us out anyways. We'll just go play in the other building now.
If they can get that secured. If they can get that secured, because I think the Madhouse would still need to get a renovation to their ice system. Because I think they still. I was trying to remember what my brother-in-law said specifically, but correct me if I'm saying this incorrectly. What is it like? ammonia-based system or whatever it was in the 70s. Is that what
Yeah,
the
ammonia.
system was? And it's obviously we now know that's dangerous or whatever, but I think it would still need that to either be renovated or somehow adjusted to fit with with modern NHL. But even then, it's just if the city of Glendale kicks the Coyotes out, that kind of guarantees they're not going to get that money back. Well, essentially, what happened is you get a court order. Okay, the Coyotes got to pay however much money, and then they would just kind of do what everyone does with medical bills. You kick it down the can until the debt gets sold to a debt collector.
Yeah.
Type of situation. Obviously, it's a little different when it's the government, but type of situation. So it's like how are you going to guarantee to get that money? Like it's a really stupid game of chicken both ways. It's this is just one of it's like two teenagers that really think they understand how to solve the world's problems.
Yeah.
Just saying dumb things back and forth, and every adult in the room is ordering extra drinks to deal with it. They're just, all right, double shot of vodka. I'm gonna be here for a while.
No, I got you, man. I got you. And the Rams in St. Louis, yeah, kind of the same thing. Now, you want to talk about a bad deal? That you want to talk about an absolute bad deal, and I'm not going to get too into it because Chris Lambert wants to come on when we do talk about it. The settlement between the Rams and the NFL and St. Louis. St. Louis got screwed in that settlement. I don't know who the idiot was that signed on for this law firm for a 35% fee, right? So they did it fee based, right? They would get, I'm sorry, if you're talking about $1 billion lawsuit, I'm not giving you 35%. I'll give you 10. That's still $100 million.
When you said 35%, I don't even care if it's just in the millions of the total. That's a lot. Oh my God.
Yeah, that number needed to come down. Well, now here's the thing. They probably racked up. Now this lawsuit went on 5 years. Mm-hmm. I could see them racking up $7-8 million, maybe $10 million in fees. Right? I can see that. I get that. But to end up with $276 million, the profit margin there, right? That's what they ended up with. That there's no way that they had that they spent that much, that they earned that much profit, right? That fee should have been structured down, right? To where, if you spent this much, you got this much. If you spent that much, you got this much. Something like that. But the 35%, yeah, we need a consolation NFL team to say the least. 35% is highway robbery. And I do think that. $735 million, everybody's going, oh, it's seven. No, St. Louis is only getting 500 of it. A little bit over 500. The majority of that money, 35% of it is going to the lawyer firm. They just become one of the biggest firms in the country, right? They just made almost every employee in that building a multimillionaire, and I'm talking about the janitor. All right,
I'm not cleaning up your crap anymore.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what happened. There's so much money they could pull off, say $50 million to put back in the corporation, and still have all this money that bonuses could be paid out up and down the line, right? It's the guy that empties the trash is going to get a hell of a Christmas bonus, sooner or later. But it is what it is. But what happens is the people that pay the bills are the ones that get screwed, and that's my problem with this. Right, this is another, and I don't want to get political. I already did that one show before, and probably lost a bunch of viewers. But this is a definite case of the rich getting richer, and I think that's what's happening in Glendale. Is it's two rich guys. It's the guy with the Corvette and the guy with the Maserati, right? Standing there with each other, saying, whipping it out, measuring, saying who's bigger. And that goes nowhere for anybody, right? 513 million, not billion, million. So, you know, and that's what I see happening in Glendale. Am I wrong?
Well, I think maybe ever so slightly because the city of Glendale is a poorly run trash show. So maybe I, from what I remember, and I being told when Camelback Ranch got finalized with the White Sox and the Dodgers, allegedly they both only pay $1 a year in rent to the city of Glendale. So they're a terribly run trash show. So it would make sense why they might need the money. So I guess it would be more so a corrupt, idiotic, inept government organization going up against a multi-billionaire that's like, well, I'd rather not pay you and just put this money towards this that doesn't involve you. And it's still like nothing will get done because either the team gets kicked out, forced to move, and Morello has to make the team successful wherever else, or City of Glendale caves, they look even more inept, more useless, more of a trash show, and everything goes on as on the days of our Coyotes.
Hey, Matt, right?
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember it because, you know, my brain's scrambled. But Matt, it's so good to have you back, man.
I always love being here, especially when I'm not exhausted, when there's nothing but Coyote stuff to worry about. Oh, wait. I couldn't just enjoy my Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie poster today. I couldn't just fanboy out over my childhood favorite game franchise, getting to see certain stuff in the poster. I got to come home to depression. It sounds like adulthood.
Yeah. Well, no, and I'm going to say this from a very personal level. You know what happened, and for you to stand by me, I appreciate that, because that's
look. Petty drama happens, and like I said, unless you plan on angering me or something, or calling my wife names, which I might join in with you. All jokes aside.
No, the only person I'm calling names is you, right? The only person I'm calling names is you, because you call me names.
Yells at me, and you guys all laugh and cheer on like I love her so much.
Yeah, right.
I want a burrito.
No, we love your wife. You know, with the hot dog octopuses and all that other stuff. So yeah, we love you guys, and you know, you're always welcome on the show, man.
Absolutely.
Anytime you want to pop on or just send me a message. I'm doing daily shows when we don't have a game, and you know, I come on at 8 Central. I figure it's a good time for St. Louis, and you know, we had 10, 11, 12 people tonight, so you know, we're getting a good fan base that's following us more regularly, and when we're moving along and we're starting to get it, we're seeing intermission shows in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's growth. That's consistent growth, because a lot of people will just watch like just an after show or just like I'm someone that loves like recap stuff or more like focused scripted stuff. So the fact that you're starting to see more people jump on the live stuff, that's actually really big, because a lot of people, not necessarily intimidated by, they'll be like, oh, I don't know how much I missed out on, or oh, I'd rather watch a recap after. Like, so that's actually pretty strong.
Yeah, we're growing. We are growing, and we've got people that have come and especially like when the Blues were on NHL ESPN Plus only. When we were on that, we were getting people like, what's going on? Tell us. So we have this fun. I think we're a fun show. I think that we enjoy each other's company, and I mean that in the way we banter back and forth and the fun that we have, and you know, it's great that I've created some friendships like you, and when the things that happen, you were willing to look past them, or at least, you know, see, you know, there's 3 sides to the story, and you kind of looked at the C side, the you know, where the middle was, and I appreciate that, and I just wanted to say that out loud, you know, and not just in a private message. I hope that's okay.
Look, as long as we can all agree that taxation's theft, we're good.
Yes.
Right. Look, this stuff will never bother me. Look, I'm literally the idiot that when I first built the channel, post a lot of my problems I was trying to dig my way out of. I got broken up with, and I was home alone for an entire weekend. Didn't want to be home alone. I was just hanging out on a live stream with people. I tried on live stream, buddy. You think I have shame? You think I have shape? I wear a Sonic hat and I scream about a blue hedgehog.
I think I was on that. I think I was on that live stream, wasn't I?
No, it was back in, I think, early 2019. It was the original version of AZ Sports Guy. I don't think we met yet. But
no,
still,
I might not have been yet.
I remember
like, one of your live streams. No, I remember another live stream where you were a Sonic live stream where you were crying.
Oh, I was that one. I think I was just fanboying over because they were doing an announcement, and I was like, "Oh my god!" Listen, every time I see that stupid blue rodent, I'm like, I'm a 10-year-old again walking in my dad's friend's daughter's room, like, "Hey, what are you playing? Sonic Heroes. What the hell's a Sonic?" And from there, it was like, well, I'm going to get bullied a lot, but I guess I like this little rat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the things that bring us what our childhood memories, right? Mm-hmm. And for me, my one of my better childhood memories is ice hockey, right? The blues games and things like that. And I've talked about it before. And not only that, even in my formative years when I was 21, 22 in the Gulf, and what having that it meant to me, it really solidified, my love, my connection to the sport, and that's what I've enjoyed. And like I said, AZ, Matt, we've enjoyed you so much, man, and thanks for coming on again. It's a thrill to have you back, and we got to get you back on one of these. I know the games are kind of tough for you because of your work, but if we got a game, or an early game or a later game that's over in your area, I think next time we're over in your area, we'll have you back on.
Yeah, of course. You always know I'm just one depressed evening away from avoiding the harsh realities. That is, waking up to be a fan of this stupid franchise.
Well, you may be a Nordiques fan here coming up soon.
You see, because I'm from Arizona, people tend to think that they think all Arizonans would hate the people from the South. Got no problem with them. It's the Canadians I don't like.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Well, no, just don't become a Dallas fan.
No,
we'll take you into St. Louis. You can become a Blues
come
fan.
to St. Louis.
Well, I've already claimed St. Louis because even though I'm comfortable with saying I've gotten over my hatred of Vegas, after Fleury, I will still never cheer for them again. No, yeah. I'm happy that desert hockey's working, and I'm going to leave it at that. I've already chosen St. Louis, but unfortunately, if the Coyotes leave, I probably stop covering sports. I'll probably just watch St. Louis because, even when I was trying to cover some Vegas to show some support for desert hockey over there, I could never get into it the same way. It's just I know what's going on. I'd take some game notes, whatever, but I would just never have my heart in it, like I do for the Coyotes. And even though I love the Blues fan base, they're literally the only fan base that has not bullied me or said I shouldn't have a hockey team. And considering the fact that if it wasn't for this team, me being a fan, I would have never met my wife. So I would be a fundamentally different person, maybe in jail. I don't know. I had a pretty bad upbringing.
You have naked kids coming on my show.
Hey, that's Leia, and she's doing whatever she wants.
Okay, well, we get that, but I just don't want to get.
That's why I was hiding her as best I could.
Violation here.
For all anyone knows, she's wearing a tank top. You saw a naked arm.
I hope so.
Naked
arm.
I
was too busy looking at a light. I didn't see anything. I don't know what we're talking about.
Naked arm.
My goodness, this show has just died. Well, buddy. That is our hour. What an hour it was. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Matt, the AZ Sports Guy, and Ashley Slapshot Jones, letting you know. All know. Yep. Again.
Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
And after this show. Yep. Well, hey, Brad, you got in late, man. The hour's over. We'll talk about Buchnevich on the next show. Guys, have a great night. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and Ashley Slapshot Jones saying aloha, mahalo. You got to know we're bleeding blue with you, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the Blue Note Fan Report.